If longsword training and sparring feels kinda awkward, clumsy, or even wrong right now, then that's good. That's not a problem at all, because that's the phase you're supposed to be in. Hi, I'm Michael Kozin, and I have over 2 years of experience with longsword in historical European martial arts, through sparring and taking part in different official HEMA tournaments, and through real exchanges. I've learned how to wield a longsword, and I've been exactly where you are right now, a total beginner without any knowledge and without any guidance or blueprint on how to train the longsword. At the beginning, I didn't feel smooth whatsoever. I didn't feel fast, and I was clumsy as hell. I was stiff, late most of the times, and honestly, I felt like I wasn't progressing because I was just confused. But the real thing was having a community and real guidance from people who are just better than me. So that's why right now I have my own school community where I teach total beginners on how to actually start sword fighting themselves without any knowledge and without any experience. So check out the link in the description. And I've already helped more than 10 guys inside of this community. So that's the real place where everyone should feel awkward with a sword. So for now, let's come back to the topic of this whole video and let's fix your mindset. My first point is that awkwardness equals new nervous system. So let me start from the very obvious one. When you pick up a longsword for the first time and you start to wield it, your body, so your nervous system, with your mind and with your brain is completely overloaded with new information. Your body never experienced moving with a new object in your hands that should be wielded fast and with precision. And that's why naturally you feel the awkwardness inside of you. So the things like footwork, your posture, how to wield your blade, how to measure the distance to your opponent, all at once, the things that overload your mind with new information. And that feeling of awkwardness is the result that your mind is learning and growing with something new. You're not just copying new shapes, you're creating a new patterns with your body. The thing that you have to get out of this point is that you have to stop judging your movement most of the times. And you have to change it to start noticing your movement in the third person perspective. Because that's where, without emotions, you could see your errors and correct them later. My second point is that movies and games lied to you. Of course they did. Because they show you the smoothness of the protagonist or the character that you're playing without the years of constant repetition. So they hide the real transformation of our hero when he starts some new skill from just the very beginnings without zero knowledge and just without zero experience. Or if they do, it's so trivial that you don't even notice it. In the context of sword fighting, when they show you that a protagonist picks up a sword, that he's already a good beginner. They don't show you a moment when he's a total newcomer to it. Our protagonist, or the character, is already good at basic attacks and basic defense with a sword or any kind of other melee weapon. The media doesn't show you the real transition from a newcomer to a beginner with good basics. So real sword fighting skill is built through friction and by staying in the trenches long enough. People in general quit HEMA and sword fighting practice because they expect comfort too quickly. That's the thing. The comfort never comes because a real pursuit of mastery is through stepping out of your comfort zone time and time again. The true real life mastery is uncomfortable by definition. It's supposed to feel hard and grindy in a way. Everyone you respect looked like this. Every advanced sword fighter you ever look up to had to start awkward. They haven't been born with smooth sword fighting skills from the start. So all of them Like, I mean it. All of them were stiff, late, and overwhelmed with new information of how to actually wield a longsword or any kind of other weapon, right? So they were just like us, but there's a huge difference, which is they stayed in it long enough. I am the perfect example of this point. When I started out sword fighting for the first time, like specifically with this padded Go Now longsword, the side note is the best longsword for complete beginners. I started out with this and a fencing mask on my head. And I knew that at the very beginning I will suck at least a few months in of training. So I knew that I will lose to each and every opponent that I got when I tried to spar someone. But there's the thing. I knew if I just stayed in these trenches long enough, then I will eventually become better swordsman. Through my constant repetitions and failure, yes, failure, I progressed 2 times quicker than half of the class. So of course, at the beginning, when I just started out, I got hit lots of times. I felt stiff and I felt scared a bit, right? Because I tried to focus to actually win against my opponents, my sparring partners. But it became second nature to me. I was in this stuff long enough that it just became a day-to-day experience for me. And that's why I'm right now I can wield a longsword like this and not feel scared or whatsoever. Of course, if you gave me a real medieval sharpened longsword, I would feel the respect of the weapon, but I will know how to wield it with safety and how to not kill my opponent outright. Yeah. My next point, which is point number 4, is that awkwardness is a filter. Without sugarcoating, awkwardness is what filters out people that chase fantasy inside real sword fighting skill. So they expect that they will progress fast without failing, which is like wrong mindset. But it also keeps the ones who stay faithful to the grittiness of training. So it rewards the people who stay for real capability. This phase builds real confidence, not fake gaming confidence, but a real confidence with a real life skill. So this is where you stop knowing about sword fighting and actually start doing it. Point number 5 is what to focus on during this phase. So this point is golden because I will tell you what you have to focus on when you're a beginner with awkward movement. First of all, your best friend is your footwork. So when you stay in your fencing stance, you have to relax your knees and bend them to lower your center of weight. And this is how you strengthen your legs, so your footwork, and make it more powerful later. So the second thing to remember is to relax your grip when you're holding your longsword. There is two variations of holding your longsword. The first one is the hammer grip. With your main hand, close the grip with your thumb over the other fingers. But the grip that I use, and advanced people as well, is the thumb grip. The thumb is positioned towards our blade, just right under the crossguard, and that's how, with a thumb, we can control our blade even more. It lets us feel the flat of the blade, and that's how we also feel the edges as well. So the next specific thing to remember is that your footwork supports each of your strikes, but it also supports each of your defense as well. So as I said countless times, when you attack your opponent with a cut, you also should advance to your opponent. And when you defend with your blade, you also should take a step back, so retreat from your opponent when you feel like he wants to attack you. That way you're creating more time for your mind to actually choose a proper response to the changing situation, so the chaos of sword fighting. And the last most important thing to remember is that you don't rush to smoothness. You have to earn it through repetitions. So don't try as hard to focus only on smoothness, because that's the wrong way to go about it. You have to focus on repetitions first, because that's how your body and your mind learns through doing the thing. After that, the smoothness will come later, naturally. I already covered different solo drills that you can do to work on your awkwardness on my YouTube channel and inside my school community. So remember, awkwardness is not a bad thing. It's just a natural response of your mind and body to something new, which is sword fighting in this instance. So that's why most people quit here in this phase. Not because they're bad, but because they don't have guidance, and that's why they feel confused and keep guessing on what to train next. And that's why every beginner, and to be honest, everyone should have a community which supports him. That's also why I want to mention my own school community called START SWORDFIGHTING, because that's where people who feel awkward stay and keep practice this art. This is the place where I can teach you structure, give you the proper blueprint for training as a beginner, and that's where the other guys at the same stage. That's a place where being awkward with a sword is completely normal. And to be honest, it's even required for real growth. So yeah, and remember, always take the initiative.